Dear Esther, I have lost track of how long I have been here and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I have always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
Oh, my bad.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
I'm going to have to lower down the large amount of the captions being so big. I wasn't aware they were going to be that large. Yeah. There's a line through the skybox up there. Clearly somebody was trying to utilize that as a polygon. Yeah, sorry, I left out today to go pick up a few things at Walmart and ran by Subway because Johnny hadn't had anything from there in a while, and I figured, what the heck, I'll get something from there too. It's probably one of the healthier things we can think of to eat as of right now in terms of buying anything anywhere. No, you can get veggies. So, I wonder if there's fall damage in this. Actually, I think there is. I think the only way you can die is by drowning and falling from a very high height. And I don't understand why this dude walks so freaking slow. You can zoom in, but you can't move fast. All the buttons zoom in, every single one of them. Except for the stick. The one you move with. Wait. Oh, you can go backwards so you can use the reverse pad. That is archaic in its design.
When you were born, your mother told me, a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained.
I never knew you got motion sickness. You just finished eating. Hey, so did I. I did the same thing. Oh, I got you. Going to Walmart was a bust, though, because, like, knowing I'm really aiming to cut back on things. I did cheat last night, though. I went by Sonic, because they close at midnight.
A wonderful sight.
And,
the moon cresting the junction between the cliff path and the stone circle. It cast a shadow of the ridge across the beach, all the world as if you had signed your name in untidy handwriting.
Because I wanted to try this new slush that they had. I'll turn it down a little bit. Oh, wow, look at that. There's only master volume, and that's it. Yeah, oh, that's great. Anyways. That's still a little loud. At least from what I've heard previously. But I went by there because I wanted to try out this new red, white, and blue slush they had that was going on. It was blue slush in the bottom, and then it had like vanilla ice cream in the middle, and then it had strawberries on top. So I was like, oh, I want to do that. And then for some reason I just felt hungry, so I said, forget it, I'll just go ahead and I'll just get a regular single patty cheeseburger, you know, with all the stuff on it, because that has veggies too. And got a small tater tots with it, and that was it. Because I saw this guy, Badlands Chugs, on YouTube. He basically chugs a lot of stuff, man. It's crazy. I think that dude has like a freaking abyss for a throat. And he was actually, he made a video of him actually chugging this thing, and I was kind of laughing at him too, because he got this big old PCP pipe thing that he could put down, or PC pipe, whatever the hell it's called, to put down to try to stir it up because it was so thick and he couldn't really drink it properly. So, veggies are good, but don't automatically equal healthy. Yeah, I guess that depends on which ones you eat and how your body responds to them. I mean, that's true. Some veggies can have other effects on you than other ones would, depending upon health.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid, or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff path died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true too. Onions and garlic are good for you, but it depends on the person. It depends on how much you're getting of it. Like another thing, I'd also heard that apparently when it comes to like either bladder or kidney health,
Lot's wife, you and
tomatoes
we feel no particular need to turn back.
have acid in them.
There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
A whole new world. Look at the pixelated sky. So the Chinese room made this. I was I was wondering what other games they made. The Chinese room. That's racist. That's racist. Why gotta be Chinese room?
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet.
Some asses are good for you.
Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life. I threw my arms wide and the cliff opened out before me, making this rough home. I transferred my belongings from the bothy on the mount and tried to live here.
Yeah, that's true.
It was cold at night, and the sea lapped at the entrance at high tide. To climb the peak, I must first venture deeper into the veins of the island, where the signals are blocked altogether. Only then will I understand them, when I stand on the summit and they flow into me, uncorrupted.
What the heck is up with the friggin' paint in this? Who's painting on the walls? Who? Yeah. Oh wow, did I just wrap in a circle? Or no, I didn't. That there be probably be my final destination, be our lighthouse. Oh wait, I did wrap around in a circle. I also noticed there was another part that I didn't go to down earlier on the beach, but oh well. This dude walks like slow as molasses. You should at least be able to run in this, dude. I mean, really? People could fall asleep during this. I mean, what's keeping the man from running? Is he like a really old fart? Yeah, exactly.
The vegetation here has fossilized from the roots up. To think they once grazed animals here, the remnants of occupation being evidence to that. It is all sick to death. The water is too polluted for the fish, the sky is too thin for the birds, and the soil is cut with the bones of hermits and shepherds. I've heard it said that human ashes make great fertilizer, that we could sow a forest
from
no
all that is
left of your hips and ribcage, with enough left over to thicken the air and repopulate the bay.
See, that's one of the things. People always want to talk about time in games and time spent in games. The amount of time that you spend in a game doesn't matter to me. Really, it really depends on the amount of content that's in it and if it's worthwhile going through. Stories, characters, setting, all of that. I mean, yeah, time does make a difference to me because I want more of it to be able to get into. But stuff like this, just for it to pad out game time when there's nothing really else that's going on, it's just like, dude. People talking about time in games nowadays just gets to me. I'm just like, you don't even know what you're going to be getting. Just because a game will be announced that, oh, you're going to have this much time spent in the game. Well, what are you going to be doing in the game? What exactly is going to happen in that game that's going to take up my time for me to spend that amount in there? Yeah, it does, actually. I mean, I could hear it fine on my end, but... I'm an old man walking through a valley, can't run for shit. Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's probably better off if you don't have a buffet, because you'll overeat. There's that talk of eating till you're full, but some people will go beyond that. And that's one reason why they feel so bloated and feel like they need to fart and belch all the time. And up to the point where they can't really move. And I fell in a hole. I died. Loading. Loading. Ooh, I got a silver trophy. Donna Lee. Whatever the world that is.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my ordnance survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Like the piano, though. The piano! Pianery. Gosh, it feels like he's just walking slower and slower. Why don't they have like an auto walk on this? You just press a button and you just auto walk. They do it in MMOs. They can do it in this one. I think something bad happened here. Incredible Hulk episode. Yeah, no kidding. Walking down the road. Well, tomorrow, apparently, Tanya and I are planning to go see Baker. So that'll be something. I should be able to explore all around here. I should pick up items and resources and weapons and armor and crap.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
What is this, like some Bermuda Triangle stuff? I gotta walk all the way back. Exactly. Walking too much by yourself on a lonesome island? Grab a Snickers. Exactly. I'm tired of walking. I'm gonna fish.
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Sounds like you need to see a doctor for that. Quit speaking in riddles, old man.
When I first looked into the shaft, I swear I felt the stones in my stomach shift in recognition.
That's what she said. There's a hole. Rubber ducky, go down the hole. Well, there's a house up here. Does an old winch live up here?
I've begun my ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
Everything goes down the hole. Tiny Toons. Yeah. The witch whose house is made out of sweets. My gosh, old man, you walk slow. It's going to take me 30 minutes just to get to the top of this hill. Although this is an area that I'd like to actually live in.
The Bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jacobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the Bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him, either.
Yeah. Yeah, that friggin' blows. Oh, I got you.
Seen at dusk, they did not land. This house built of stone, built by a long-dead shepherd. Contents: my camp bed, a stove, a table, chairs, my clothes, my books. The caves that score out the belly of this island, leaving it famished. My limbs and belly famished. This skin, these organs, this failing eyesight. When the battery runs out in my torch, I will descend into the caves and follow only the phosphorescence home.
Well, how in the world did you end up all the way over here, dude? Good grief. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I'm walking sideways. I didn't really get anything at Walmart either, dude. I got like some red seedless grapes, because I've actually heard the red ones, the purple ones, the green ones are good for you too, but like the purple ones have like higher antioxidants from what I've read.
Not how he began. I've been unable to discover if the former was a result of his visiting the island or the force that drove him here. For the syphilis, a drunk driver smashing his insides into a pulp as he stumbled these paths, I can only offer my empathy. We're all victims of our age. My disease is the internal combustion engine and the cheap fermentation of yeast.
Yeah, what he said. And I got some frosted mini wheats and some more rice milk, because I think I was almost out of that.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. His fingernails were raw and bitten to the quick. They found the phosphorescent moss that grows in the caves deep under the nails. Whatever he'd been doing under the island when his strength began to fail is lost. He'd struggled halfway up the cliff again, perhaps in a delirium, perhaps trying to reach the Bothy's fire before curling into a stone and expiring.
Personally, for me, yeah, I like it. I've really not had any problems with it. One of the main reasons that I was dealing with rice milk is because, yeah, even though rice would have calories in it, cow's milk, at least from a drinking perspective, probably has worse properties to it than rice or almond. Personally, for me, with almond milk, I never really liked it because every single time I would try to shake it up, it would always seem like it would have some type of thickness to it. And I never could get down with that. But then I tried like I think it was like whole wheat, whole grain milk or something. Man, I'm never going to do that again. That seemed like it was thicker than the freaking almond milk. And I was like, geez, if I want to have paste on my friggin' cereal, I'd buy glue. I wouldn't eat the glue, but just making a point. But rice is thinner. It's a much thinner milk. Obviously, yeah, you'd shake it up just like you would, I guess, any milk or any type of liquid. But, I guess it's like carbonated or something.
Down to the caves, I slipped and fell and injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Behold the power! Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, no. Son of a whore. I didn't want to fall down in there. I was trying to go back to see if I could walk around that chasm. Oh, look, another trophy. This is Jacobsen, the friggin' silver trophy. Are all these silver trophies?
Donnelly's addiction is my one true constant. Even though I wake in false dawns and find the landscape changing, flowing in constantly through my tears, I know his reaching is always upon me.
Must have been the brand I got. There's a bunch of stalactites here. Stalagmites? Stalactites? Whichever one grows from the ceiling. And down here in the never-ending dungeon, we're going to run into goblins and trolls. Probably not. And other foul beasties that lurk within the darkness. What's this? It's just a red line. Oh, I just wrapped me around over there. But I got like the cinnamon roll flavored type of frosted mini wheats because I wanted to try those out. I've never tried those out before. I've tried the frosted, I've tried the strawberry, I've tried the blueberry, and this one I haven't. But I think they also got like a maple brown sugar one too. I've had those before. Those are good. Moo and sponge rollers, where she actually put some clothes on vacation. I'm pretty sure she'll have some clothes on. Yeah, we're just, we're really just supposed to, I don't really know exactly. I think we pretty much have it down. What we're going to do is just, probably going to go to one of the malls. Well, this is pretty. We're going to go to one of the malls and go eat somewhere around there, probably within the same parking lot, if not within the mall itself. That's really nice. I don't know, we might go to Dave & Buster's or something, possibly. I don't really know. I can almost guarantee the moment I get there, though, her and Tanya are going to be yakking like crazy.
Back as far as the Sanford Junction.
And I'm going to sit back and watch.
Shoulder like radio signals from another star. It took 21 minutes for them to arrive. I watched Paul time it to the second on his watch.
Sit back and laughing at him. Third wheel on the bike. I don't know. I think her daughter's coming too. What if I get drowned? Ooh. Maybe I should turn down the brightness a little bit. Well, I'm really the type of person, though, where I sit back and listen more so than I'll interact, but if I feel the moment to interact, then I will. Oh. Okay, I had to fall down to go that way to come back up here to go this way. Ah! I think this also released back on PS3, if I'm not mistaken. Who lights a candle and just leaves it there? That thing would have burned down already because somebody's been through here or somebody's living in here. I kind of feel like I'm in an Elder Scrolls game that's not an Elder Scrolls game. Oh look, he's suddenly moving faster. Oh wow, yeah, that's not safe.
I'm traversing my own death throes. The infection in my leg is an oil rig that dredges black muck up from deep inside my bones. I swallow fistfuls of diazepam and paracetamol to stay conscious. The pain flows through me like an underground sea.
Now I know why he's moving slow. That's still no excuse. You're only supposed to light candles when you're around them. You never know what'll happen with an open flame. Whoa. I feel like there's so many different paths to take. I thought this was going to be more
through the goats into.
linear.
It cannot be the landfill where the parts of your life that would not burn ended up. It cannot be the chimney that delivered you to the skies. It cannot be the place where you rained back down again to fertilize the soil and make small flowers in the rocks.
It's a watery Sarlacc pit. Behold Damascus taken? I have a very useful set of skills. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Away from being a city. Oh, they said a dirty for a second. I'm like, what sense does that make? Feed it. Rumors, map, what? I don't know. Oh, they brought back cookies and cream Twix too, so I got a little baggie of those little tiny mini ones, because I haven't had those since the 90s, if I recall, or the early 2000s. And that was it. Because, yeah, yep, they're back. I got him at the Wally World. Rubber ducky, go down the hall! Oh, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to go down there or not. Does it contain veggies? It might. It very well might. I'm not really sure if there was some places I was supposed to go in this or not earlier. Because everything is so open like it is. But like, this dude moves so freaking slow, man. I'll get aggravated just trying to go some places. Raindrops are falling on my head. Head towards the light. Did I find it? I might. You know, speaking of which, I really thought about going back and loading up Assassin's Creed Odyssey and playing that some more and doing stuff that I haven't done in it. It's a pretty game. Plus, it runs a whole hell of a lot better than Valhalla does. Might even go back to Origins. Origins runs a whole hell of a lot better than Valhalla does. Ooh, Esther. It's a silver trophy. They should all be golds. I don't know what it is about it, man. It irks me. Whenever I get a PS5, hopefully that update will still be there, and then I can just transfer my save data and get the update.
The moon over the Sanford Junction, headlights in your retinas. Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the Sanford Junction is too strong.
What the hell? What's going on? Hello?
Come back.
Oh, I guess I drowned. I got a bronze trophy. CO nodded. What the hell is that? Oh, the fact that I died in the game, I guess? Was it almost like a Dark Souls trophy? Yeah, Worth a Buy mentioned that because he was just giving his thoughts of New World. Amazon's trying to kill people.
Dear Esther, I find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
That was a different voice. Yeah, exactly. Actually, then again, I think it's crazy for anybody to spend $2K on that anyways. Yeah, that too. There's a Pikachu. I don't know what that is. Can I zoom in and hit? That's just... $2,000 on a graphics card. Good grief, dude. Good grief. We have a tire shrine here.
There were chemical stains on the tarmac, the leak of air conditioning, brake fluid and petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. You could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
Walking, 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 walking.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the pieces, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
On a sudden, the light from the heavens shone around him, and he fell to the ground with eggs. Yeah, those didn't go anywhere, did they? Might want to try a bottle instead. Holy. Slowly but surely. Oh, the doggies are asleep.
The pain in my leg sent me blind for a few minutes as I struggled up the cliff path. I swallowed another handful of painkillers, and now I feel almost lucid.
I bet you do.
The island around me has retreated to a hazed distance, whilst the moon appears to have descended into my palm to guide me. I can see a thick black line of infection reaching for my heart from the waistband of my trousers. Through the fugue, it's all the world like the path I have cut from the lowlands towards the aerial.
Well, you're probably gonna die. Walkie, 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 walkie. There's another game that I thought about getting this half price right now on
voyage in a
PSN.
paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fibre, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and casts parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Come together right now over me. It's this game called, it was made by Don't Nod, which I've never been a fan of them or anything like that, but it's
If only
called...
Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
Yeah, I've heard of the Vanishing of Ethan Carter. I haven't seen it, or played it, but I think it's like much more open too. So some people are actually getting confused on what to do or where to go. Maybe they've fixed that since then, because I know it's been a while since that came out. Gosh, I forgot what the name of the game was now. Time Break or something like that.
Returning to my car afterwards, hands still shaking,
like $15,
and a head split open by the impact. Goodbye to tearful aunts and traumatized uncles. Goodbye to the phenomenal. Goodbye to the tangible. Goodbye Wolverhampton. Goodbye Sanford. Goodbye Cromer. Goodbye Damascus. This cliff path is slippery in the dew. It is hard to climb with such an infection. I must carve out the bad flesh and sling it from the aerial. I must become infused with the very air.
Who's really taking their time to ride along the sides of these cliffs with glowing chalk? Whew, that is high. Move, you old man. Take your leg off and run.
I have dredged these waters of the bones of the hermit, for the traces of Donnelly, for any sign of Jakobsen's flock, for the empty bottle that would incriminate him. I have scoured this stretch of motorway 21 times, attempting to recreate his trajectory at the point when his heart stopped dead and all he saw was the moon over the Sanford Junction.
Ah!
He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all, and it was not his fault. It was the converging lines that doomed him. This is not a recorded natural condition. The gulls do not fly so low over the motorway and cause him to swerve. The paint scored away from his car in lines like an infection, making directly for the heart.
Oh, okay. Huh. Junebug came into your stream yesterday. Oh. How did that go? Or what were you streaming? I think I went in there briefly and liked it, but I think I was on my way to work, or I was at work. Or I was sitting in the parking lot at work. I can't remember.
Trails in the air, white lines etched into these rocks.
Is that like the first time you went into one of your
Dear
streams?
Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate.
Oh, okay, Fatal Fury 2,
Mine
yeah.
will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon that they will
twitchy.
not forget you. We've always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. they will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland,
You
where
Twitch!
help will be sent.
I need to get back to checking out Twitch again, I reckon. There really is no reason to have the crosshair on it. What? Putting on pasties and body painting. Yeah, because Twitch is full of those freaking thoughts nowadays. Oh, he's a bird. Or he turned into a bird. Ah! Sorry. Sorry about that once again. Yeah, there's a lot of that goes on Twitch now. Bunch of hoes trying to look for fame. You need a hot tub? Well, I guess at least everything's covered. There's something to be said for that, I suppose. So please don't tell me I just reached the end of this. I mean, I'm glad I just spent $2 on it and that's it. But if this is the end of it, then I mean, I ended up hearing that this thing was probably like a couple hours long or 3 hours long or whatever. So clearly I must have missed some type of story segments or something, because I know there was a few places I didn't go to. But there is director commentary to go through this to figure out, you know, hear everything else of what went on in the game. Or what went down, like how they made it or whatever. Okay, I have... Oh, Paul. I think that's a gold trophy. I have no idea what the hell I just played. The only thing that I know of, it seems like it's this guy that crashed on an island with other people. They became hermits, and he was writing letters to send off to his woman, but they couldn't go out, and he injured himself, and he couldn't get help, so he climbed up to a tower. He couldn't deal with it anymore, and he killed himself, even though we saw ourselves flying away as a seagull. But I'm pretty sure he didn't turn into a seagull. And there's no music that's playing, so I have no clue what I just played. Sorry, folks, had to blow my nose there for a bit because my dag-blasted allergies are being stupid. Why is nothing else happening? Ugh. Why is there no music either? I just don't get it. Ugh. Maybe something else will happen after the fact? Based on the 2007 mod. So it's based on a mod. Well, I reckon if I decide to go back through it again, I'll go through those places I hadn't been before previously, and also turn on the director's commentary. But this was strange. That's the only thing that I could get out of it, except for the fact that those other areas I didn't go to maybe have given me a little bit more backstory of what's going on. But ultimately, I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm gonna turn the sound down here a little bit more. I don't understand how it is that there's been so many people that have praised this game. And I think maybe one of the reasons is maybe it was probably one of the first walking simulators to come out, I think, within that time frame, I think. But, like, I don't get it. I don't understand. It's just like, you're walking really slow. That's all you're doing is walking. You're just hearing the character talk every now and then and listening to the music. And it's so short. I mean, yeah, I could have probably gotten a little bit more out of it if I would have looked elsewhere. But the character just moves so slow, dude. And I'm just like, I don't want to take the time to do. If he could run, then, you know, I'd be more willing to try to explore a little bit more into certain areas because I know there were some paths that I didn't go down. But, it's like, what? So I don't know. I mean, like I said, at some point I'll probably go back and I'll play it with the director commentary on to see what all they've got to say about it. I'll probably get a little bit more insight to it and even go to those areas I hadn't been before. But, anyways, yeah. Praise Half-Life 2. Use the same game engine. Yeah, it uses the Unity engine. So, I don't know. Well, anyways, let me see what time it is. 2:09. Let me think. Well, I guess I could just go ahead and start up another stream and play a little bit of Tomb Raider, because I'll definitely have some more action in it, that's for sure. The Source engine, yeah. That must have been when they were making the mod. But, anyways. I mean, if you and Ron want to come into another stream or whatever, I'll stream some of Tomb Raider. Otherwise, I'll just quit streaming for the day. That way I'll know whether or not I should bother, I suppose. Okay then. Alright. That's all good. In the hood. I'll just try out that other game that I got for 99 cents and see how that goes for me. Probably go to Disco Elysium for a while too before I head into work in a few hours. But anyways, I appreciate everybody coming in, checking it out, chit-chatting, all that stuff. And maybe I'll be back tomorrow with something. If I do, it'll probably be later in the evening, more than likely, since the lady and I are planning to go see a friend that'll probably last throughout most of the day. So, anyways, if not tomorrow, then probably for sure sometime on Sunday. But, anyways, I will go ahead and end this like I always do. Later, taters. Ski bop a dip bop bop, I'll scat, man.